Ready, ready. Green flag, green, green.
Before Brad Keselowski even took over the wheel of the very famous Blue Deuce in the Sprint Cup Series, he was already a proven winner and champion. But it wasn't until a very difficult stretch this summer that we found out exactly how tough this driver is.
Heading into the August race at Pocono, most thought that Brad Keselowski's hopes of making the chase were beginning to fade. Sitting outside the top 20 in points and having broken his left ankle in a practice crash just days before, nearly everyone counted him out. But Keselowski had a different outlook.
Well, I never had any intent of getting out of the race car. And, you kind of take it as it comes. But we had Sam Horsch there. Knew I'd get a good feel for where I was after practice. And after practice, I felt like I could man up and make it work.
With his ankle and back throbbing in pain, help from Mother Nature came in just the nick of time.
Well, I was pretty tired after or during the first segment before the rain delay, but I feel like I would have made it. It's just was a good chance to get a breather and get back to 100%. Kind of like a prize fighter in between rounds or something like that. It just helped me out a little bit to stay at 100% mentally.
Thanks to pit strategy and a timely caution, Keselowski found himself in a fight for the win with perennial frontrunner Kyle Busch and five-time champion Jimmie Johnson.
Kyle Busch down on the inside of Brad Keselowski, and now diving all the way to the lower side of the track is Jimmie Johnson, 3 wide, going to turn 1.
Caught a break with Jimmie getting such a good run, and Jimmie timing it very well really helped my cause, obviously, and we were able to take our Dodge and drive it into turn 1 with a little more clean air on it than it would have been if we were side by side. So to have a little help on that on the restart made a big difference.
Proven how tough he is this afternoon.
How about Brad Keselowski winning at Pocono?
With a fuel mileage win at Kansas, the gutsy performance in Pocono, and an all-out smackdown on the world's fastest half-mile, Keselowski has shown that although he may be a wild card, he's by no means a long shot.
At the end of the day, if we just keep doing our deal, running strong, get good finishes, everything takes care of itself in this sport. And so you got to kind of look out for number 1, and things will go your way when you do that.
And now let's welcome to Trackside driver number 2, currently 6 in Sprint Cup points, Brad Keselowski. Come on up, BK.
How's it going?
How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man.
Good. I was better before them stairs.
There you go. Exactly.
How are you guys?
Good. Brad took the time to take care of the fans before he came up here. It's good to see you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, Brad, we know you didn't come to Sprint Cup to run in position number 35, but are you ever pleasantly surprised with how quickly you've risen so close to the top of your profession?
Yeah, it's the last few weeks especially have been a really good ride, and I'm very thankful to have a fast car and a really good team. So I could not ask for more right now. So now we just want to take the speed that we have and all the good positive energy and get a good finish out in this chase. And who knows, might even have a shot at the championship.
I saw a couple interviews with you where you said you had no rookie nerves just because this was the first time you were in the chase. You guys have run better at racetracks this year the second time you go back.
Sure.
Out of the last 9 races, we go back to 7 of them for the second time. Which tracks in those 9 races bother you the most going back to?
Oh, well, I'm nervous about Talladega, but everybody's nervous about Talladega. That's kind of the same thing for everyone. But, one I kind of look at that I've struggled at, and I made my first start there, was actually Texas. And I just don't quite have the feel I'd like to have there. But, there's some other tracks that I feel really good about. I feel good about going to Martinsville. I feel like we had a really good car there in the spring, and we just had some issues. But, I feel like Martinsville, Bristol, those racetracks we've ran really good at, and I think we can do it again come the chase, maybe even pull out a win.
We talked about your injury. You and Tony Romo have been talking a lot about, and as far as sports, as far as heroes this year, showing courage to be able to come back and lead your teams to victory lane like you did and like he did the other week. What I want to know is, I've been hurt. What was that week like leading into Pocono as far as all the rehab stuff that you went through just to get you to the point where you could drive the car? Because I'm telling you, did you cry any when they were working on you?
Well, close, yeah.
I'm telling you, it hurts.
I was close. There was this one thing we did in rehab. There was this lady named Rebecca who did my rehab. She actually did it at the pit school.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Rebecca. Yeah, she did it at the pit school. And she had this deal where she got to my foot, and she took her 2 thumbs and just pushed as hard as she could on everything that was bruised, and apparently that's good for it. But
you got to move. Look at the picture of your ankle. I mean, that's what amazed me.
So she took all that blood and drained it out somehow.
She pushed it back up into the system.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't cry, but I had tears. They didn't come out, but there were definitely some tears.
Did you call her a couple things?
I didn't.
Under your breath?
No, I wanted to, but I couldn't do that to her.
She's worked on me before, and I would have tell you right. I've been right. She can make you cry.
She can make a grown man cry.
And we suspect it's pretty good now, Brad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I actually went and saw Rebecca yesterday, and she worked out a little bit more. And you got the electric shock stuff that they do, and they zap it and all that weird stuff. But the best way to explain it is all the ligaments are still broke, and the ligaments are like rubber bands. And so they're broken rubber bands. So, it's not bruised and I can still move on it, but it definitely doesn't feel good.